Ghosts. They're everywhere.
No kidding. I thought Halloween was over.
Salem, look out!
Do something! Okay. Sweet. What'd you do?
I just pressed the button on the gamepad and it made a flash with the noise and drove the ghost away.
Huh. Where'd you get the idea to use the gamepad of all things?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Fatal Frame lately, so I thought I'd give it a try. Not like I had any other options.
I know what we need to do, and I know how to get it done.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, Arnold. If we review the new Fatal Frame game, it'll give the gamepad enough power to kill all those ghosts in my house. I've heard crazier things.
It's crazy enough to work. What should I do?
You could just keep cowering under the covers, Salem.
An excellent plan.
Well, after all the pleading and petitions, Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water for the Wii U is here in the Western world. The story revolves around an infamous suicide spot called Mount Hikami. After several people go missing up there, the three playable characters Yuri, Ren, and Mayu take on the task of going up to different parts of the mountain to find the missing people, solve the mystery of the mountain, and if you get the best ending, lift the curse of the Black Water. Yes, this game has different endings, 2 for Yuri, 2 for Mayu, and 4 for Ren. What ending you get depends on choices you make in the last chapter, but I'll let you discover those for yourself. The story is shown through the different cutscenes you come across, which are all very well done by the way, but you can also find journals all over the place and read them to learn more details about the game's story. It's a feature included in classic survival horror fashion. In fact, the game as a whole feels very true to classic survival horror, but done with modern technology. Visually, Fatal Frame 5 is well put together. The human characters look really good and the ghosts look, shall we say, beautifully terrifying.
You're a damaged goods lady.
Although there are noticeable muddy textures throughout the environments, these same environments benefit from creepy lighting. A lot of the game is dark enough to keep up the suspense, but never so dark that you can't see what's in front of you. It's perfect lighting for atmosphere that promotes fear. This is all good since Fatal Frame doesn't focus on run and gun action. A big part instead focuses on putting you in a suspenseful, unsettling environment where you worry that a ghost can appear anytime and attack you. Really, the best survival horror games are the ones that make you feel nervous and afraid just by walking through its environments, and that's something Maiden of Black Water delivers wonderfully. Part of that is attributed to the sound design. As you explore places like the forest, abandoned old houses, or that damn doll shrine, you hear the soft, ghostly music that doesn't overshadow the sounds of wind or rain. During combat, the music is still fitting of a creepy ghost game, but more fast-paced. Adding to all that are the sounds made by the different ghosts. They all sound like they want to eat your soul, but many of them also sound like they're suffering. This makes the whole game much more three-dimensional. The English voice acting is pretty good too, but for you purists who despise English dubbing, this version also comes with the original Japanese audio as an option. Ignoring the modern gaming trend of regenerating health, Fatal Frame 5 uses a more old-school health system. This requires you to keep your health up with medicine and sacred water. You can also find rare mirror stones to revive you if you die, but this game also includes something that affects how much of a beating you can take. Since Mount Ikami's water is plagued by the Black Water, the more wet your character gets, the lower your defense is, meaning you take more damage from ghost attacks. This aspect makes you dread being in certain environments even more. You won't want to stick around in flooded basements, a forest in the rain, or worse, a flooded graveyard while simultaneously being rained on. While in such circumstances, your fear is increased, leading up to your eventual ghostly encounters. And that's where combat with the Wii U gamepad comes in. As expected, your gamepad serves as your camera obscura. Using the gamepad's gyro sensor, you can turn all around and hold the gamepad at different angles to get the best shot of your enemies. This adds more immersion into the game as a sense of really being surrounded by ghosts, putting the action horror of the ghosts right in your face through the gamepad. Sometimes you'll even have to look down at a ghost crawling at your feet, or crank upwards to snap a photo of that annoying tall woman. Yes, I get it, you're a giant. Get out of my personal bubble!
You psychopathic bitch.
Combat also has its own level of strategy. As you battle ghosts, you have to remember that getting them in the middle of an attack knocks them back, but runs the risk of you getting hurt. But snapping pictures of them while they're just moving normally doesn't do much to them, so it kills them slower. Also think about lining up different angles for shutter shots, using more powerful film, and softening them up with different lenses. The one flaw, though, isn't so much with the camera as it is with your character. That is, that controlling your character can get a bit clunky at times. There is a quick turn, but it doesn't work as well as in Resident Evil games. But when you're in camera mode, movement works just fine. The camera isn't just used for combat though, it also works in puzzle solving. See, in order to find some required items or unlock a door, you'll need to take a psychic photo at a certain angle of something your camera is reacting to. If you pull off the shot right, a new image will appear, an item will become real, or something will open up for you. This is clever use of the camera obscura that adds more depth to this game. Now aside from being your camera, the gamepad has two more functions while you're walking around: off TV play, or a map of where you are. It's proven to be a good and expected feature of Wii U adventure games, so you don't have to pause to look at the map. After you kill a ghost, you can do a fatal glance that lets you see how they died. This is more than a way to see grisly murders and suicides for bonus points. It also expands the story and plays a role in the ending. Find out that part for yourself. I shall not spoil too much! The game itself is broken up into chapters that you can later replay anytime. At the beginning of a chapter, you can purchase more items with points you've earned. This may give the game an episodic feel, but once you're in the chapter itself, you've got an engrossing Fatal Frame experience to look forward to. On the subject of points, while you may feel tempted to purchase more health items and more powerful film, it's better to use your points to upgrade different parts of your camera. Trust me, for your sake in the harder chapters, you'll need to upgrade your camera. This again is part of strategy. Based on how you fight the ghosts, you've got to decide what you really want to upgrade when you have the points for it. How fast your camera loads film, how much damage a shot does, your camera's range, the individual bonus lenses. It has a bit of that RPG element. Instead of buying items, you can find items by exploring each environment. So yes, this game does have a sense of openness to it despite a linear guidance system. That system being something called a trace. Each of the three characters can use an object or photograph to follow the trace of the person they're looking for. So while you're walking, you can hold the right trigger down and follow this glowing figure down a path of where you're supposed to go. It does kind of take away from finding things out for yourself, but at the same time, you don't have to use it. You can make discoveries your own way. You may have noticed that characters grab items in this slow, dramatic way. The reason for that is because sometimes when you go for an item, this ghost hand will pop up and grab you. Knowing that can happen any time creates another thing to be worried about. Even with that in mind though, it still becomes rather funny how often this item grab scene comes up.
Feeling kind of thirsty. I think I'll have some water. I feel like ordering pizza too. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. Oh crap, not again! Get off me! Get off me! Alright, well, that shouldn't happen a second time, so I'll just grab my phone. Perfect.
After you beat the story once, you unlock a bonus story where you play as Dead or Alive character Ayane, who has to go to Mount Hikami to rescue a girl. Unlike the main story though, Ayane's chapters are focused on stealth. You use a purple thread to guide you to the missing girl, and as you go along, you have to avoid getting stopped by the ghosts that populate the mountain. If any of them detect you or they get too close, you can fight them off by flashing a powerful light from this magic rod that works similar to the camera. It can't kill the ghosts, but it can help you go back to being undetected. As a bonus game, it presents a great challenge that fits in with the Fatal Frame world. Now unfortunately, Nintendo of America didn't do as good of a job as they should have done with releasing this game in the US. The biggest problem being that this 16GB game was only released in digital form on the eShop. There's currently no physical retail release, and there really should be because those would sell better. That aside, it should be noted that Maiden of Black Water does a great job of maintaining fear no matter what the chapter is. Even in this chapter of ghosts invading the normally calm antique shop, a stop wave after wave mission on paper sounds like a generic action game trait, but Fatal Frame 5 manages to make it terrifying with surveillance cameras and tight quarters. This game may not be perfect, but it does get a lot of things right. With any luck and a lot of persistence, us fans will make all of Nintendo see how much we want more Fatal Frame, And really, Nintendo systems need more Fatal Frames since they have partial ownership of the franchise. This game is great classic survival horror that any fan of the genre should purchase. It sets a great example of how amazing survival horror games can be on the Wii U.
Well, that should do it. Ready to slay some ghosts, Arnold?
Let's party.
Bring it on, Casper!